The Roborock Saros Z70 is currently the priciest model in the brand's enormous lineup. What's the killer app that justifies its spot at the top of the pile? Well, we could talk about its space-saving Starsight LiDAR system, Adaptalift chassis lifting system, or even the extending mop pad and side brush. But let's be honest here, while these features are useful, none of them are why you consider the Z70. And they're definitely not the reason you're watching this video. Besides, you can get those features on this thing's cheaper sibling, the Saros 10R. No, you're watching because you want to know about the ARM. Omni-grip is the name, and picking things up is its game. Hey folks, I'm Evan from RTINGS.com, here to tell you all about it, and whether or not this limbed wonder can actually fit into your daily cleaning routine. Here at Ratings, we're big fans of not wasting your time. So, the ARM. It's bad. Canadarm, this is not. First, how it works. Before cleaning, the Z70 uses AI to recognize objects like socks, small fabrics, shoes, and paper waste. Per the marketing material, you can configure it to drop shoes off at a user-designated area, though everything else gets dropped over to the Roborock store box, which is basically just a tiny laundry hamper or a very chic trash can. In practice, we found the vacuum to be frustratingly inconsistent when it comes to actually detecting things that the ARM could pick up. It wouldn't pick up larger hazards like shoes or anything at all on carpets. It tends to work better on smaller objects, like loose socks or paper scraps, but again, really only on bare flooring. It's also worth noting that the Z70 sometimes just misses its disposal bin when dropping off items too. Of course, the omni-grip ARM is only one half of its hazard avoidance system. While we weren't all that impressed with the ARM itself, the Starsight 2.0 navigation system is a different story. You'll also see this tech in action with the Saros 10R that we reviewed recently, where it impressed us greatly. In the Z70, it's pretty careful around a wide variety of hazards and obstacles, like TV stands, coat racks, and mirrors. We also found that it would consistently identify and avoid pet waste too. It's less consistent, however, when it comes to low-profile obstacles like socks or USB cables, especially on carpets, but it's still not terrible overall. The dual transmitter solid-state LiDAR and 3D time-of-flight sensors make it a far more physically compact navigational system compared to a conventional spinning LiDAR sensor tower. Translation: it can get under really low tables and chairs. Like the Saros 10R and last year's Roborock Q-Revo Curve, this vacuum also has the Adaptalift suspension system, which can haul the entire vacuum body upwards when it needs to cross a threshold or some other low barrier, like a thick rug. It works pretty well, and all these systems working in tandem means that the Z70 doesn't get itself stuck very easily. A quick note on runtime. In theory, the Saros Z70 can run for over 200 minutes in its most power-efficient configuration. Just like the Saros 10R. Not surprising, since both units use the same battery. That's with a big, shiny caveat, however. We achieve that number by disabling the robot arm through its companion app. Put simply, having the arm ready to deploy draws a noticeable amount of power. With the omni-grip arm turned on and ready to go, we saw a max runtime of about 140 minutes, much less than the 10R. And that's not even using the arm. Each use of the arm drains the battery 1% according to Roborock. If the arm picks up 20 objects or more while vacuuming and navigating, standard RoboVac things, this can really add up. Again, like the Saros 10R, the Z70 is bundled with Roborock's Multifunction Dock 4.0. It has the standard high-end features, automatic bin emptying, mop tank refills, and mop washing. Compared to older docks, this one heats mop washing water to 176 degrees to sanitize the pads more thoroughly. There is also an automatic mop removal function that detaches the mop pads and stows them on the dock when the Z70 is set to only vacuum or run on carpets. So there's no chance of your rugs or carpets getting soggy. On top of that, it supports fast charging, being able to refuel from empty in about 2.5 hours. It's worth noting that the inclusion of the omni-grip arm heavily cuts down on its internal debris capacity. The dustbin is roughly half the size of that of the 10R. If you work from home and run the vacuum often, the sound of the self-empty cycle will either drive you insane or be a source of near-constant comfort. The arm also cuts down on the size of the cleaning head versus the 10R. This is why the Z70 uses a single cleaning roller as opposed to the former's twin split rollers. Roborock calls this new design free flow. We call it a nuisance. Despite the integrated fins meant to trap pet hair, we found that longer strands still get tightly wrapped around the roller's bristles, making it a major pain to clean. One area the Z70 doesn't disappoint is in in-app features. If you're shopping for a robot vacuum at this high a price point, it isn't going to come as a surprise that you can customize virtually every cleaning parameter you could think of. From specific suction settings or mopping modes for specific rooms, granular cleaning scheduling, manual surface type selection, or even virtual barrier lines and no-go zones. You can also tweak the behavior of its hazard recognition system and have it take pictures of any obstacles it does encounter with its built-in camera. Of course, if you're the type to simply throw your hands up and trust that the vacuum has everything under control, you can just enable the AI Smart Plan feature. This feature allows the vacuum to automatically select all of those above parameters and more depending on the environment. If you find that the vacuum doesn't return to its dock to self-empty or self-clean often enough, you can tweak that too, along with the intensity of its mop washing and drying functions. You can also adjust the behavior of its omni-grip arm to either sort obstacles automatically or sort them out yourself. Fan of claw machines, you can also just operate the arm yourself. On bare surfaces, the Saros Z70 is a strong performer, capable of cleaning up a wide variety of debris types within a single cleaning job. Its mopping system is all but identical to that of the 10R, which is a great thing, as it's impressively effective in scrubbing away stubborn stains like tomato sauce on a tile floor. Carpets tell a very different story. The Z70 is hard-coded to lift its side brush when it detects that it's on a carpeted floor. And unlike almost every other parameter of this vacuum, you can't actually change that. What this actually means is that the vacuum does an awful job of clearing away debris along corners and along walls. A quick note, however, in one of our performance testing runs, we observed pretty terrible performance overall, which was inconsistent with our previous results. Being the curious Georges that we are, we cracked the vacuum open and found that debris had jammed open the dustbin's self-empty port, which is only held shut with a single weak spring. When this door is open, air leaks into the suction inlet and greatly reduces overall suction. Just keep that in mind if you do own a Z70 and have noticed its debris pickup performance beginning to suck all of a sudden. Let's cut to the chase here. In roughly 100% of situations, the Saros Z70 will simply operate as a worse version of the Saros 10R. The 10R doesn't have to make room for a bulky, ineffective grabber arm, allowing for a bigger dustbin, which in turn means it won't have to return to its dock to self-empty as frequently. The Z70's added sensor suite and actuators also suck down more power, resulting in a much shorter max runtime than the 10R if you're leaving the grabber arm enabled. And why wouldn't you? It's the main reason you'd buy this thing. To hammer that final nail in the coffin, the 10R also has room for a bigger twin-split roller cleaning head that's much easier to clean. The Z70's free flow brush does, however, do a better job of lifting away pet hair. Again, unless you're strictly buying the Z70 as a eye-catching conversation starter, the 10R is the smarter option. There is also the Dream X50 Ultra, another high-end model that we reviewed recently. It's broadly the same story here. The Dream has a higher capacity dustbin, a longer battery life, and easier to clean rollers. Beyond that, it's almost as feature-packed as the Saros Z70. It's got a highly impressive hazard detection system, and its Pro Leap lifting system is also better for crossing complex multi-step barriers, like, say, sliding door tracks. Heck, it's even got a retractable LiDAR turret, similar to the cheapest model in the Saros lineup, the Saros 10, no R. Then there's the not-so-old veteran, the Roborock Q-Revo Curve. Minus the omni-grip arm and compact Starsight navigational system, it's equipped pretty similarly to the Saros models, with the Duodivide split rollers from the 10R, the twin-pad mopping system, and Adapt-Lift chassis lifting system. Its reactive AI hazard detection system is its biggest weakness versus those newer models, as it isn't nearly as consistent in spotting obstacles and avoiding them. If you keep a clutter-free home, however, this shouldn't be a major problem. If you couldn't already tell, we were pretty disappointed with the Z70. It isn't a terrible robot vacuum by any means. It offers adequate debris pickup performance, a huge range of customization features, and a pretty effective hazard detection system. That said, much like a monkey's paw, the extra appendage is a curse. It cuts down on its battery life when enabled, reduces its debris capacity, and makes the cleaning head less easy to clean. The Z70's stratospheric price tag is also a difficult pill to swallow. At this price point, this thing should be almost flawless. Yet it's outperformed in most respects by vacuums that cost half as much. So that's it for a review of the Roborock Saros Z70. If you're interested in more detailed performance data, you can check out the full review for this vacuum on our website, linked below. Until next time, I'm Evan from RTINGS.com, where we help you find the best products for your needs. That's with a big, shiny caveat, however. We achieved that number by disabling. So it was a good flow. That was like a 10 kill streak. That was pretty good. Yeah. No nuke, but it was all right. It was okay.